Hello folks, welcome to Tuesday. It is time for another rant, and this week we have been graced with the presence of Games Workshop. No, they're not here on the video. Don't be getting too excited, that's never going to happen. No, but they have done a few things that make me want to actually have a rant, so here we go. For the first time in a few months actually, it is a rant about Games Workshop. If you like what I do, the subscribe button is down below, the Patreon button is also down below. If you sign up to it, you will be involved in the prize draw this weekend on Sunday. We'll be doing it all day. And it is for £50 worth of free models from our partners over at Composite Games and a Dark Angels box set, the Deathwing box set, the Terminators in there, the Command box set. So, that is this weekend. If you want to be involved, that's what you do. You become a member of the channel or you become a member of the Patreon. Either way, you support the channel, you help me keep the lights on, all that fun stuff. Love you all long time. Let's jump into it, shall we? So, here's the thing. With what's been going on recently over at Games Workshop. Those of you who have been in the hobby for any amount of time will know what this is. This is the BattleForge app that I have on my phone. I have used it a few times. It is an insanely good app. I really do doff my cap to it. I have been a long-time user of BattleScribe on my phone or elsewhere. I think this is, for me at least, it's easier to use, it's bog standard, it's all there, and it's all very easy to look at what you need and the profiles of what things are, and it's not hungry on the old battery. My phone isn't very new anymore, and BattleForge tends to not zap away the battery whenever I'm there at the table, which I think is how it's been built. It's been built to make sure that you can use it at the table as you're going, and I really like that. It's a really top-class app, and well done for Games Workshop for giving it to us for free, right? Thank you very much, Games Workshop. This is what I've always wanted to see from them. Free access to tools like this that really help you get your army on the tabletop, and not just that, the amount of people I know who've gotten into new armies because of BattleForge, because they look at the lore, they look at the models thinking that's pretty cool, but I actually want to win games. So they go on BattleForge and they put an army together and they go, oh wow, this actually looks pretty strong. They send it to their friend in an email, and their friend goes, yeah, that's actually really strong. Yeah, that's actually really cool. And they use it as a shopping list. They go into a Games Workshop store or into one of their partners or into a web store and say, I want these models to make this army this way. And away you go. You're having fun, right? That's great. And that's what this entire app is there to do. So why am I making a video about it? A few of you will know already. So, the access to our lovely app here is going away. It is no longer going to be free. In fact, it's going to be behind a paywall. What paywall, do you ask? Warhammer Plus is the paywall that we're going to be seeing on this app from now on. If you want to access this app from now on, the best thing Games Workshop have done away from models for the past 10-15 years, in my opinion, if you want to access this, you have to go onto Warhammer Plus and pay £5 a month to get access to this app, or £50 a year if you want to do it that way. That's scummy. That is not a good feeling to have. That is a I think Discourse Miniature said something really interesting the other day, where she said Games Workshop tend to accrue goodwill and then they spend it, like they're cashing in their chips at the casino, right? They get their goodwill and then they spend it on something frivolous, like this, like putting something like this behind a paywall. Because what you've done now, this is overly very cynical. What you've done is you've gotten your player base used to using BattleForge. You got them used to it, you got them enjoying it, you got them really liking it, and now you've put it behind a paywall, and so what they're going to have to do now is go and see all of these lovely advertisements of what's on Warhammer Plus, right? What's on Warhammer Plus? And they'll see all of this, and about 10 to 15% of them, let's be honest, will be taken in by it and will actually sign up. Okay? People have brains, people know what you're doing, right? But the whales, the people who you actually want in the hobby, let's be honest, I'm going to be honest with you guys, they don't want us here. People with brains who can think for themselves and make conscious, responsible decisions with their own money, they do not want us here. Because anybody doing a conscious decision will say, no, you're trying to take advantage of the fact that I liked your app by putting it behind a paywall. Go fuck yourself. Either put it behind the paywall to start with, or don't. But don't do it at a later date when I now am reliant on it to have fun in the hobby. Right? It's a bait and switch. Go fuck yourself. It's your... Listen, Games Workshop, it's your stuff. You can do what you want with it. Don't get me wrong. Go and do whatever you want. But everybody has the choice to say, do you know what? Fuck you. I'm not doing this. I'm not paying for this. I'm not getting involved with it. I don't like the business practice. I'm walking away. There will be people who are going to get into the hobby because they liked BattleForge, they liked making armies, and they're about to take the plunge, and then this happens. And they go, how long is it before my normal rules are behind that paywall? How long is it? Because Games Workshop say things all of the time and then just completely lie and don't follow through. So how long is it before our normal rules, our codexes, our indexes are behind a paywall? How long is it before the actual core rules of Warhammer 40,000 are behind a paywall? And by the way, do not tell me this is normal business practice. It isn't. It isn't. Almost every other game on the tabletop wargaming market will give you their rules for free. They will give you their rules for free, and if they could have the resources to do an app like this, they would give that away for free as well. Because they want you to be playing their game. They want their hobby to grow. What we have with Warhammer is something that's reached a critical mass. Games Workshop no longer need to grow the hobby at the rate that they once did. Right? They've now got a critical mass where they're earning so much money from every single release that they do backwards, nonsensical, ridiculous decisions like this that are anti-consumer and go against everything that we're supposed to be doing in the hobby. In terms of making it affordable, making it that people can actually get the tools that they need to do the hobby. Don't introduce a panacea like this that cures a whole lot of diseases for people who don't have the mental acuity to go into a codex and do all of that kind of stuff. Don't introduce an official version of Battleline, which is free, by the way. Battlescribe, sorry, which is free, by the way, and then throw it behind a paywall after a year of it being on the market. Don't do that. Either put it behind your paywall and people go, hey, that's a cool tool. What a nice bonus for being a Warhammer Plus. Giving it to people for free and then taking it away from them, that's cynical, and that's a shitty thing to do. Before we even get into the more serious side of this video argument, because the price of Warhammer Plus is not staying at $4.99 every single month. Oh no, 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 no. That's going up to $5.99. $5.99. £6 now. Was £5, now it's £6. Why? Because they say the Battlescribe app adds value to Warhammer Plus. So that is represented in the price going up. Yeah. So not only are we taking away this free tool that we gave you to put it behind a paywall, we're now raising the price of that paywall. Get your fucking wallet out. They don't like you. I'm telling you now, they don't like you. The people who take advantage of free rules and free apps, right, to keep the cost of the hobby down, the people who penny pinch like me, who don't want to spend all of their money on the hobby all of the time, they don't like you. And they don't want you in the hobby. I don't care how many times Games Workshop tell you that they want you here, they don't, because their actions speak otherwise. I'm always a firm believer in actions trumping talk. They can talk all of the verbatim that they want about how they love the hobby and how they want everybody to be involved in it. No, they don't. No, they don't. They want people who are irresponsible with their money, or have very high-paying jobs with more money than sense, to be involved in their hobby. That's it. That's it. They want milkers. They want cows. They want cash cows. They want whales. That's what they want in this hobby. They don't want anyone else. Everybody else is a nuisance that they sometimes make some money from. Alright? I've often talked about the phenomenon in Games Workshop of the time vampire. So when you're working with Games Workshop, you are literally taken aside and given a little bit of training on time vampires. Time vampires are people who come into your store and don't buy anything and take up a lot of your time without putting anything of merit or financial backing into your store whatsoever. In essence, they lose you money. Fair enough, right? The issue there is that yes, time vampires do exist. We do have a lot of people in the hobby who want to take advantage of the good nature of a store manager by taking up all of their time and not providing anything else in return. Which eventually means if you do that enough times, a few hundred times, your store closes because it's not making any money. And it's normal to come into your store and not spend any money, right? Cool. The problem is Games Workshop saw this in everyone. If you wanted to do a game above 500 points in a store, you were the problem. If you wanted to come into a store and actually, you know, sit down and talk to other customers without spending any money several times in a week, you're the problem. And that I did not agree with. But this is what I mean. Games Workshop don't want you in their stores if you're not spending money. There's a very good reason why you can't game in most Games Workshop stores anymore, and even if you can, that Games Workshop store will say, sure man, you can play a game here, but you need to keep it on the down low, because if it goes back to head office, I'll get into trouble. Right? There's a very good reason for those rules being in effect. Games Workshop don't want gamers in their stores. Why? Because they're not spending money. Games Workshop don't want people in their stores who are not going... If you go in there for a cup of tea and a chat, they don't want you there. They will brush you off, they will hound you up the door. You're not there to spend money. They are there to accrue money. That is the only thing they are there to do. I've told you how I would solve this in principle. I would drastically reduce the number of Games Workshop stores. I know, that sucks, I know. But I would also make Games Workshop stores areas of recruitment. We don't sell the models in the stores. We do on the computer in the store. You can buy them there. We don't sell the models. It is a recruitment drive place. We get you there to play the games. We don't hound you to spend money. It's a place where you can come and enjoy the hobby for free at our expense as a thank you for supporting our hobby. If that's the way you want to go, Games Workshop, just do it already. Do it already. Try and do it in a way where you don't cost people their jobs, but do it already. Because this is getting beyond a joke. Okay? £1 doesn't seem like a lot to a lot of you guys, I know. I know. But that is a massive price increase. For something that only costs £4.99 to now cost £5.99. In terms of the general GDP of a company, that is a huge, huge increase in price. Okay? £1 may not seem like a lot to you, but a lot of other people, that's something that could go... That is another £12 a year that could be going on something else. Again, it may not seem like a lot to you, but try bringing up a kid when you're on your own. Try being a single father or mother. You know? Try trying to meet rent. Try trying to do this whilst working for a company like Games Workshop who pays you below minimum wage for the job that you do. People say they don't... How could they get away with it? They do. They literally do. I've shown my payslips before in previous videos. I've shown my Games Workshop payslips. Right? I was paid... So, when I was a staffer at Games Workshop, I was paid just over £1,000 a month for 40 hours of work a week after tax. Alright? Around 12 to 13 grand a year after tax. That's what I was paid. Right? When I became a manager, I was paid £1,250 a month after tax. Right? That's 13, 14 grand a year. Doesn't meet minimum wage. I think a lot of these companies say that you are beholden to work for us. You are literally, you know... I don't understand how that hasn't blown up. I honestly don't get it. I don't get it at all. I don't understand that at all. I've literally shown pay slips on here. I've shown, like, you know, things like that on here where I've been like, look, this is the amount of money I was earning. This is what I was earning. If you don't believe me, here it is. And people literally, like, it just hasn't blown up. I have no idea why other staff members are like, oh yeah, this is fine. Because in fact, I do know. They want to keep their jobs. They want to keep their jobs, man. That's it. You're paid buttons at Games Workshop because it's a little, they get away It's Subway. It's Subway, but it's run like a ma and pop deli, and they get away with it that way. Quite simple. They get away with it in that fashion. People don't look at them as a serious company because they sell little toy soldiers. You'd be surprised what people can get away with the government just by being a company that sells little toy soldiers, right? People don't look at them with the scrutiny that they look at other companies with. People don't look at Games Workshop with the same scrutiny that they look at a big tech company. They just don't. They just don't. The hoops that Google have to jump through, Games Workshop don't have to jump through. If they did, there'd be lawsuits across the country about why are you paying me so little money to work a 40-hour-a-week job? Okay? Why are you expecting me to turn up early for my shift and work 3 hours when I'm getting paid peanuts? To them, their whole spiel is, it's very easy to get kicked out of heaven. You should think it's heaven to work here. It's amazing to work here. You should love working here. You should be paying us, really, right? That's the Games Workshop ethos. They want you to drink the Kool-Aid. They want you in the cult. Take your little tiny amount of money, right? Take the fact that you can't pay your own fucking rent. Be thankful for the fact that we give you a free white dwarf every month and a discount on our products, and leave. Oh, by the way, you can't even afford those products on discount because we pay you so little. But hey-ho, is what it is, right? Go fuck yourself. And then you see things like this. Then you see things like this that really, really light a fire under me. And I just... Every time I want to give them a break, every time I think, okay, I don't want to do a video on them for the next couple of months, every time I do this, they do something like this. It's a running theme on the channel. Every single time. Not only are they taking away a free app, which was a goodwill gesture to the community, they're putting it behind a paywall. Not only that, they're raising the price of the paywall. Are you fucking kidding me? Any other company in the world that is a gaming company that deals with nerds would get ripped to shreds for shit like this. To shreds. Not Games Workshop, though. Right? I've only seen one other video on YouTube even covering this. So, yeah, is what it is. Again, I'm honestly puzzled why the pay thing is even a thing. You know, but I can tell you why I didn't go up for it. I loved my job. I loved my job, and I didn't want to fuck it up. And then when I left, I assumed Games Workshop was so big, if I come out and say this stuff, I'm just going to be lambasted, made to look like an idiot, and no one's going to want to listen to me anyway. And everyone's going to be thinking that I'm lying. Everyone's going to want to see my payslips, and I don't want to show them, right? And even when I did show them on this channel, I think it was like 18 months ago now, something like that, on this channel, people still didn't believe me. I shit you not, right? People don't have a leg to stand on at Games Workshop. If you're a staff member at Games Workshop, I doff my cap to you. Well done to you, because you're being taken well advantage of. You are literally getting paid shit for a lot of work. For a lot of work. And you should be paid more, you should be valued more. And I'm really sorry that they don't. And I'm really sorry that they do bullshit like this. Do you know the average top earner at Games Workshop? Do you know what they earn? Do you know what they earn? £37,000 a year. Sounds like a lot, right? No. Do you know what the dividends is for a top shareholder at Games Workshop, or a top executive at Games Workshop? Right? The CEO of Games Workshop last year took home £1.3 million. 1.3 million. Yeah. They're making millions, whilst everybody just on one rung below them is making fucking peanuts for what they do. It's not just the people in the stores who are taken advantage of. The average guy at Games Workshop who's busting his ass trying to make this product better is getting paid £37,000 a year. At most. At most. Those are your top earners, ladies and gents. Alright? The retail guys are way below that. Way below that. Okay? I'm talking in the low 20s, mid-teens figures. And then you get the gophers like me, the guys who've either just joined the company as a manager at a store that isn't very big, or that they're literally, staff bodies who get paid even less than that. Alright? I'm all for, if you don't like a contract, don't sign it. I'm all for that, but imagine getting a contract from Games Workshop where they're like, we want you. We want you to come and work for this hobby that you love so much. We're going to pay you peanuts, but there's going to be a fast track where you can go and earn real money with us and stay here for the rest of your careers. A lot of you will take that deal. A lot of you will take the deal to work for peanuts for 2 or 3 years to go and make your money eventually, right? Without realizing that, to them, you're never going to make that grade, dude. You're always going to be a dog's body. You're always going to be bottom of the rung. And they're going to try and weed you out before you ever get to that level, right? Especially if you don't drink the Kool-Aid. If you don't drink the Kool-Aid, no, mate, your days at GW are numbered if you're in retail and you don't drink the Kool-Aid. So, that is what I think of this. I think this is a scummy thing to do. I think this is an awful thing to do to your fan base. People may say I'm overreacting. I don't think I am. I honestly think this is Games Workshop's MO. They don't want you here. They don't want you here. It's greed. It's sheer-faced fucking greed. That's what it is. That's all it is. It's greed. The whole company's structure is about greed, so why would their practices with you be any different? If this company takes advantage of its own staff members who aren't executives, anybody below the executive level is taking the piss out of in terms of their pay. You look at any of the major gaming companies, Blizzard, people like that, what they're paid, what the managers of their studios are paid, and you compare that to Games Workshop, you will be shocked. You will be shocked. I'm telling you. Right? If they do that to their own staff, what are they going to do to you, the paying customer? Yeah. Things need to change. This is an amazing hobby and an amazing company when they try. We know that. They did it. They did BattleForge. It was there. It was all done. You had goodwill in the bank, done. No problem. They did the 10th edition box set launch nicely. It was done. It was fine, right? I know a lot of people who still couldn't get their hands on copies. You know, because it was a limited release. But it was fine. Compared to their previous releases, right? It was a 3 out of 10 release for me. When their previous releases were a 1 out of 10, this was a 3. So well done to you for not shitting the bed for once. You know, here's the thing. With the Leviathan release, people expected me to just stand on a hill and go, wow, brilliant Games Workshop. No, it was still a piece of shit release. I'm sorry, it was. It was. I know tons of people who I get emails from, who were in the comment section, who couldn't get a Leviathan box set. And that was the release box set. I don't give a shit what you say about the beginner box set. The release box set was the Leviathan box set. That's the box set you get, right? If you want to be, if you're really into getting the hobby and you really want to start, you don't wait for the starter box set to come out. You get Leviathan. Well, sucks to be you, chump. We don't have any left, right? It's really weird. There seems to be stores where they have loads of backlog of this stuff, and there seems to be stores where they have none left at all, and you haven't had any left for a month or 2 now. It's fucking odd. You know, but it's a 3 out of 10 release for me, maybe 4. Any other company, this would be a disaster of a release, but for Games Workshop, somehow, it's good, because the previous releases in 9th and 8th have been so bad in terms of numbers that it's been like, yeah, not in terms of like numbers bought, but in terms of numbers available to the general public at release day. Alright? Anyway, enough of me bashing on Games Workshop. I haven't done it for a while, so, you know, things have kind of built up on me over this time. I really want them to do better. I want the company to succeed. I want the hobby to succeed. I want everybody there to do well. There are so many good people who work there who are undervalued and underpaid. Totally. Help these people out, dude. These people are the lifeblood of pushing your hobby forwards, and you're taking advantage of them and laughing all the way to the bank. Go fuck yourself. Love you all a long time. I'll speak to you tomorrow for some more hobby nightmares with a less ranty one. Maybe. If you want to get your hobby nightmares to me, by the way, I am now down to my last 5. So if you want them read out over the next week or 2, then send them to me, and they will be read out. Love you all. Speak to you later. Have a good one. Bye now.